Is LGBTQ plus cautiously optimistic, or is this the Hillary Wednesday morning hangover coming again? As the 2024 presidential race heats up, LGBTQ voters are left wondering if optimism for the more inclusive future is warranted or the memories of the past disappointments linger. Renowned Democratic pollster Celinda Lake shared her insight with The Advocate, analyzing the upcoming presidential face-off between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. When asked about compelling parallel, liking current electoral battle of the 1973 tennis match between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King, Lake said, quote, "It's so true, it's men versus women," unquote. For some, this election reminds them of the 2016 United States presidential election, where Hillary Clinton was standing against Donald Trump. Talking about the current scenario, Lake pointed out that Harris is trying to get more support for women to counterbalance Trump's male-dominant base. Recent polling reveals a promising shift among suburban women. Many who have previously leaned Republican but now are reevaluating their allegiance to the concerns over reproductive rights. However, she noted a concerning trend: women are hesitant to voice their support for Harris, with some leaving post-it notes in restrooms as silent encouragement for one another. She said, quote, "There are silent women out there which are hard to capture in the polls," end quote. Lake also noted similarities between Harris's current campaign and the 2020 Biden's campaign she previously led. As the election approaches, the LGBTQ voters are left pondering whether this cautious optimism will translate into real change or in the past experience of disappointment will resurface. Everyone in the LGBTQ plus community remembers the morning of Wednesday in November 2016, the day after the election. Well, I'll tell you, post-it notes are encouraging, especially in the men's restroom in a gay bar. I always found them to be very useful. But seriously though, I mean, if that's what's going to cause a movement to happen, that, you know, you have support out there, and that's important.
You know, it's crazy that we're in 2024 and it's still men versus women, you know.
Exactly.
It's still, it saddens me, you know, to know that there are men out there that will never vote for a woman because they just feel that we are second class and we are beneath them, so to speak. You know, it's sad that here we are in 2024, even me saying those words coming out of my mouth, right? I have seen some of these post-it notes in the women bathrooms, and, you know, they give you hope, right? The post-it notes say something like, you know, you're by yourself when you're voting, right? Nobody needs to know who you're voting for, right? Vote, you know, vote like if other women's reproductive rights were, you know, were on the ballot, because they are, right? You know, the reality is that when you're putting that vote in, it's just you and your vote. Nobody has to know. You can live in a household that is Trump all the way, or you can live in a household that is full of misogyny and full of men that don't think that women can rule, right? They're wrong, but no one needs to know your vote, just you. You know, and women can totally make this happen and get Kamala in office.
Mm-hmm. And how much more, how it expresses the point even further that this even has to happen this way.
Yeah.
That women live in a place where they're subjugated to what men's orders are, that you have to vote like I vote. Like, it's really reprehensible that we have to do it. I mean, I think it's a great campaign, as it were.
Yeah.
But it's still very sad that it's even happening.
Mm-hmm. How about the hangover that William talked about? Does everybody remember that 2016?
Oh, yeah.
I remember going to bed, right? And really thinking, we're all good. Tomorrow morning I wake up and there's a woman president. I love it. I love their husband. I'm all about it, right? And then waking up to the horror that was my reality, our reality for the next 4 years.
I remember.
Look at your face, Edward.
I remember that night because I was at Rosie's Bar and Grill watching the elections happen, and as we started losing states to Trump, I got a really uneasy feeling, and I just left the bar and I just kind of walked home because I needed that moment. I felt like that there was something really change was happening. And so, you know, yeah, I mean, it was kind of intense that first week. It was a lot of upset. And, you know, I look at that campaign and, you know, I know a lot of people didn't like her and she wasn't likable. And so I feel that, you know, people had their misgivings about her and her husband during their presidency. So I think a lot of that played in on that. And so I think
And James Comey,
yeah,
emails, the last minute thing.
exactly. So, we can't forget about that. But more so now, I think, Kamala's got a really decent record in terms of who she is and how she's prosecuted over the years. And I think she's cleaner in terms of everything that she's done, I feel.
Right.
But like you said earlier, she's relatable. Everybody can relate to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she laughed. She's brought that joy and that laughter from the beginning. Hillary never. That's just not her style. I love Hillary. I adore her.
I love her, but I don't think she's
I was also at
warm.
I was also at a watch party that night at one of a big Democratic donor, and I remember as the stage started coming in, I was like, I cannot be here. I went to a bar by myself and drank wine because I was like,
with a straw. That's how you know Dale is upset, when he drinks wine with a straw.
yeah. But I don't want to relive that.
Yes.
But the Hillary hangover is a real thing.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things like we all remember where we were, right?
It's
Isn't that
PTSD.
crazy?
It's like PTSD.
It is
Yeah.
PTSD.
But it's taught me not to rest on my laurels, and that I have to be more proactive.
And neither Kamala, earning every vote.
Exactly. So I had to put my own, foot to the gear or whatever it's called, and just really step up and get more people involved and get are you voting? Are you doing or what are you doing? So
Yeah.
Well, hopefully all those people that just waited to vote are now voting versus sitting there on the sofa just waiting for somebody else to vote.
Very true.